we did finish extracting.
Hello,
oh no, we hadn't.
everyone.
That's what it was.
We're live and back with more Dark Heresy after last week. Last week's break. I've just noticed Roll20's decided to be Discord has decided to put me onto orange. I don't like that. As I start streaming. Okay, so hello and welcome everyone back to the Dark Heresy game, where our inquisitorial investigators are currently in a scholam, in an orphanage. This is a non. This is a minor scholam, so it's not where commissars get trained and sisters go to teach. No. This is where poor kids get sent to learn alphabet and numbers and counting and things. So dodgy shit is going down here. The key points to take away from last time are in the infiltration of the scholam, 2 of our inquisitorial agents slipped off and found a temple that children were talking about, but the teachers knew nothing about. They only knew about the but now I forgot the shrine. They know about the shrine, the Imperial Shrine, but apparently there was a temple. Well, they found it. They had already been there before, which helped make it a little bit easier. But whilst there, they noticed that this is an exact copy of the Imperial Temple on the Agri-World that they visited, the one where a cornate ritual had taken place, causing the locals to go berserk. Before venturing too far in, however, they both noticed through good perception rolls that there were 2 individuals dressed possibly in an inky black material, as they were giving off no signs except from 2 mistakes where they had just moved ever so slightly, but that movement had been caught out by our 2 agents. Now, downstairs, the rest of our agents and the NPC agent were talking to the manager, the owner of the scholam. The conversation was going quite well. Everything seemed to be in order. He came across as a bit of a scumbag. He was willing to break the rules, or at least bend them, and everything seemed to be going well. He was answering questions, giving data up. However, as the meeting started to draw to a close, there was a very good scrutiny roll by Liliana, and she detected, I think it was with 5 or 6 degrees of success, that as the owner, finished his speech, finished his performance, and everyone kind of looked at themselves like, no, that's very reasonable. He smiled just ever so slightly, and this malicious look came over his eyes, as if, yes, you are putty in my hands, you have fallen for my performance. Now, my internet crapped out last time, so some of you missed this, which is why this recap is so important. There was a little bit of a discussion out of character. The word was given to our two scouts that it was time to get the fuck out of there. So, just before the meeting comes to a close, I would like 2 stealth rolls from both Ezio and Mordecai. Now, Ezio, are you here?
1 second, please.
Holy shit, he's a... Oh! Glory to the Mechanicus! Excellent.
It's America.
It's perfect fucking timing, that's what it is.
Been here for the last couple of minutes. Scroll wheel is kind of busted though, so...
So, can I get stealth rolls from Mordecai and Ezio? But there is a +10 because you are basically taking your time. You're in no duress. If you want to move quickly, then it will be flat. If you want to like run, then you'd start taking minuses.
Thank God it says success. Oh, I was worried
Okay,
there.
with 4
It serves
degrees.
Pink Panther's team.
And with 5 degrees.
Show off.
So you two are easily able to back up quietly to exit the temple, make your way back downstairs. Now I'm going to give it to you as expedient's sake. You know where the guards are, so you kind of just pop your head down, just ever so okay. No, their backs are turned. You move out, going past the guard again, back outside, across the roof, down the stairs, and around again. It takes you a couple of a few breathless minutes of quick shimmying, but you make it. You are back to the door.
There were a couple of guard boxes involved.
Every now and then, just as a guard was like just about to turn around, just a couple box.
And only 1 or 2 charred children along the way.
Not yet.
No charred
Not
children.
yet.
No
What?
actually charred children yet. What you screw me on that one.
So as you get back into the corridor, you can hear the talking of the others, so you know that the meeting is still going on, but it's very much in its ending stages. Up to you how you want to go from the corridor.
I remember our cover was that we were
Going for a piss.
in the loo, wasn't it? Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably be a quick rap on the door to just double check everything's all right for us to come in.
Sure. I mean, I would imagine hearing the tap on the door that Winters would, open it. She's the closest. Now that the door's open, you can hear much clearly that it's very much ending, so you can sneak in if you wish.
Yeah, more or less sneak in. Just sneak in beside Winters, because it looks like they've been separated from the group for some reason.
Sure, no, you can do that. It might just be because it's a small office. It's not long before you hear the sound of chairs moving back, and you can hear Festus thanking the man for his time. He was Edward, thanking Edward Richardson for his time. So he was very upfront and very forwards with his information. And I'm not going to do his accent again, because why? Why should I? I refuse. Yes. He thanks. He thanks the group, who then turn about trying to lodge onto each other. Richardson does say that you clearly know your way out. You don't need a tutor to escort you. And as you make your way out, and obviously all into the corridor in some enormous blob that just goes through the wall, you make your way to the exit. Now, is there anything you want to do last, just before you leave? Do you want to have a last look around the hall, or any roles like that?
Yeah, I want to look around again for. I keep forgetting her name, but I think it's Amy, the little girl.
No,
Just one last look to see if she's still here.
Maria?
May.
Mary?
It's definitely not Maria.
It's May.
May.
Oh, May. Okay.
I want to give just one last
And I'm now opening up the sheet to double check. Yes, it's May. It's May. Small girl looks up to Tiffany.
Holy
MIA.
I'm going to give one last look around as well, particularly looking at the can't remember what they're called. Not the scholars, the assholes with the sticks.
Rigorists, yeah.
The rigorists, and also do assign issues because I know shit's going on upstairs.
So there are definitely 2 down here. I know their tokens aren't there. I don't know where I put them.
Wow.
There are 2 down there, and there are 2 up on the balcony.
You know what? I'm gonna fate point my awareness because why not? Even though my awareness is shit.
I'm probably too focused on trying to see if I can sense any connection to what's going on upstairs. That's why I fail quite so badly.
Jesus Christ, Jim. Jesus Christ, what a waste.
I
What an
rolled a 1
absolute waste.
Everyone's feeling their fucking awareness test. Holy
So,
shit.
Mordecai, now that you've been there and you know there's something there, it stands out to you a little bit more. However, you do feel as if it's being diluted almost. It's almost as if as you look up and you can see where the ritual has been cut. It's a few floors above, of course, but you feel as if it should be stronger, as if someone's been actively trying to conceal it from you or from others. I mean, no shit, but it's something of note now that you've moved away.
It's being psychically concealed in some way.
Yes, yeah, very much so. Which would add extra complexity onto the ritual. So it's not a quick thing that someone's casting to pop out a Nurgling. It's something much more complex that takes time to perform and finish.
It's like summoning a Chaos Hound.
So, Liliana, this hasn't been directly pointed out to you. Like, you weren't in the room to feel it. So, unfortunately, as you look around, you don't actually notice it. You look around and it doesn't, like, there's no abnormalities in the warp, if this makes sense. It's a odd one. You weren't in the room. Also, Winters, as you look at your sensors, what specifically are you looking for?
I put it in chat right below Liliana's sentence.
So it'd just be the same stuff as the last time. Then you pick up the cameras.
Specifically around the entrance area.
So around the entrance, you notice that there is 1 camera here, and then I believe there was 3 in here.
I would like to make a mental note of where those are located.
Yep, sure. You can certainly do that. So if that is everything, I imagine Festus would would stop the tutors and say like a prayer to the God Emperor. The children smile back and do the Aquila just to make sure yes they are pure, they have not been tainted, not yet. Good. We can leave now.
2 more days.
A few more days at the very least. So, you guys.
The only question will be, who will be the cause of that?
Who
Us.
indeed?
Or the chaos from above?
But on the official files, who will be the? Not you. Official files, someone else. So, you.
Strange.
Official files will talk of a structural integrity fault.
Yeah.
The building suddenly collapsed for no reason.
An odd case of arson. Can't figure out who caused it.
Where is the Raven Court?
Ignore the gunfire.
Where does anyone remember what I named the Raven Court? Because the issue is
Salty nipple.
Oh, it may have been the Salty Nipple. No, there it is, the Raven Court. I did rename it.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunately I added on that garage for you. The token now just shows the garage, which looks like a lot of my other maps. It used to show the bar, so I was like, okay, cool, it's a bar, it's easy to see. So, you guys travel back to your club, to where you can arm properly. In the car, you guys could pass off information about what you saw in the temple, for example. So when you come to the planning stage, you already have that information.
I share basically all of it. I know they heard snippets over the microbeads, but like, yeah, there's definitely at least 2 people in there. You know, it's gonna take some time. It's complex, but we need to kill it, nip it in the bud quickly. And here, I took
Also
some
need to,
pictures.
and we also need to destroy the building, or at least the temple.
Yes.
I read.
Yes, that. But we're gonna need maybe. I don't know.
Didn't
Well-
Help.
Out of chat. Can someone help me to what was Shasina's character again?
Jenny.
Jenny?
Yes, doesn't Jenny have a link with an Arbeitis? What if we get Arbeitis licenses?
Yes, we were gonna try. That was something we discussed last time as well. As trying to get the Arbite, the good Arbite, to help us.
Well, we could always just force them to start acting way ahead of schedule by poking them in hurty bits. Like taking out a couple of rigorists the not too friendly way.
Rituals don't like being fed up. Usually, bad things happen, and we don't want
So-
bad things to happen.
Just laying this out there. There is a ritual happening in the
Temple.
Temple,
There,
yeah,
where we were last time was restore the book.
and it looks
Good.
fucking identical to that corn wheat field world where we killed the dog.
Right.
And a small army of cultists with grenades.
It can't be a coincidence.
Can I, if we're still in the car, can I vox ahead to ask if we still have the blueprints to the Skullum?
Yep, you do.
Right. When we get back, we're plotting this. We're either doing this tonight or at tomorrow. This has to be done quick if this is a ritual.
That's why we should also contact the Arbite as quickly as possible then. I know it's showing our hand, but we need muscle.
Right, I'll get in
No,
contact.
legit.
We need. Well, first things first, we need Jenny to get in contact with her contact. We also need. I have a feeling we're going to need our own Arbite buddy there to at least pave things over with Marius.
I've got an idea.
No?
Running plan.
And we may not require muscle for this idea itself to work, but it's not going to be particularly subtle either. Can we get our hands on some demo charges?
I'm going to raise a single eyebrow. Look at you.
I have a heavy metal. Does that
I mean,
suffice?
we could try Mr. Black, maybe, but he probably doesn't like us. Probably killed his friend.
We probably won't be able to get them for a
We
week,
might
so-
armor
then
gun
maybe
get armament for our gun cutter from the rogue trader and then
But-
fly it in, but that's very high profile.
So,
Yeah.
so in character, Darius is going to ask, why do we need the Arbite exactly?
Extra firepower and to make it less noticeable that it was
Overall,
Inquisition.
Technically speaking, I think you guys are thinking about this wrong too, about the Albites. I think we can handle this on our own without the Albites, but I think we should contact the Albites. Because if we kill the management and blow up a big chunk of the Skullum, who's going to take care of the kids?
Yes, it also lends some secrecy to us doing it. Because yes, we have to loop an Arbite in, but then it might look just like an Arbite raid rather than, Inquisition or worse, we're marked as enemies and wanted. by everyone.
There
here.
is only one Arbite, though. That's the issue. There's only one Arbite. The rest of it's all handled by secret
That's why
police.
I asked for Arbeit licenses.
No, we're not asking for Arbite licenses. That's not how it works.
No, but if we go in with an Arbite, he legitimizes it. Just
So
with him being
you
there.
don't need, so technically, you don't need the Arbite to legitimize anything. Your Inquisition. So
No.
the only reason you
No, but
need
it's
to
more-
inform the Arbites is like what Jim said, is to take care of the children. Is to be like, right, put up a cordon, lock this place down for investigation. Obviously, you guys have already taken the evidence you want out first, and then the Arbites perform another investigation, which is more, on the ball with normal investigations, like no like demonic shit just yet.
Yeah.
They get informed about that heresy by the Inquisition.
Yeah.
So you might say to them, look, we've brought down a cult within this place. We need you to lock it down, sort out the children, inform all the important governmental organizations of this. You take it from here. We get first dibs on all the shit that's there, and all the like
Chaosy stuff.
all the prisoners. You get to interrogate all the prisoners first and shit like that. They would just be there to assist you.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
essentially
don't
what I
actually
want
need
for
him with you. That's
Okay, fair enough. It's kind of basically what I was wanting it for mainly, is to give that air of it's not straight up the Inquisition.
And how you attack the place is again entirely up to you. You have carte blanche to do what you want. You can attack from the air.
It's more
or
the issue of we don't
run.
want our Inquisitor tied to this place too early, because again, he's rogue at the moment, and there's the potential of another Inquisitor here as well, who, if they hear about the other Inquisitor, it just makes it obvious of what's happening. If this is an Arbite raid, this is... So...
They also might have a Psyker.
We know they have a Psyker.
Well...
No,
it's
we do
funny-
know they have a Psyker.
we?
The pervert's fucking child, the young girl he brings around.
Oh,
Slave girl.
yes, the girl that... Yes, I remember, but what I say is, like, no, someone...
On the
probably
warband,
better-
like...
Yeah, at our level, not at Jimmy's level. Of, like,
Mordecai.
someone trained because they were concealing it, that ritual. Like, putting a fog in front of a cliff at night.
Right.
Mordecai, can you hand me those pictures you took?
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
need those.
I'm gonna need to run some calculation.
Yep, and I opened the access port for you to slot your finger in, or whatever it is your tech priests do.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what your tech priest in particular does to
I
download
just
data.
noticed we have 20 plasma flasks in our gun cutter.
Oh
I think
no,
those could double as an IED.
no, very bad idea. But whatever we do,
That's a wonderful idea.
we need to get into that temple and stop it. We can raise the rest of the place fine, blow it up after, I don't care. We need to get in there to stop that ritual and make sure it's stopped before we do anything else. The Wild
Wouldn't
Warden,
blowing up the
maybe?
temple- wouldn't blowing up the
Did
temple do it?
Might.
anyone actually invest in suppressed weapons before?
No.
No.
My
So I
mind
did.
almost pressed weapon.
I mean, technically speaking, I'm just gonna add my comment. This doesn't make a lot of noise.
Yeah, you two have melee weapons. Winters and Ezio don't. I do have a couple of suppressed weapons, which I could hand out if we don't want to do that. I actually think a lightning strike to the temple first, stop the ritual, and then clearing action.
How important is the temple to the ritual?
It holds the ritual.
It's the focal point. It's
So if one were to demolish the temple, the ritual would be disrupted.
Possibly not. We need to stop the ritual before we do that. We can stop it before destroying the temple, but we need to make sure it's stopped.
We might need to gather more intel, or blatant intel for our Inquisitor as well. So getting in there and getting the vid capture and picked capture of it a little bit more clearly.
We could pose it as a gang strike to the wider public if we involve the what's left of the Wild Wardens.
There are no windows to the temple, right?
No?
No.
Don't think so.
It is the upper floor of the building.
Yeah, there are
Hold
no
on.
windows.
There's a very easy way to find out. I look to the heavens and wait for an answer.
There are no windows. There was
There you
one
go.
door. There was one
Say
door
again?
that led in. No windows, just one door.
It was just a door in, yeah. So that's why I'm like, we get the what's left of the Wild Wardens. One, can back us up. There's a lot of rigorists in there, and two, if anything goes horribly wrong, it's a gang strike, not a.
I mean, how do we spin that though? Because why would a gang strike at a column?
Off by nobles, but
There's a lot of reasons why people would do
Right.
stuff.
So
like
first things first, we need to get this meeting organized with the Arbite as soon as possible. And we also need to get these blueprints so we can take a look at this shit. Because I have a feeling of what, if we're going to do the lightning strike, of how we should get in.
also, when is this meeting again with the higher ups of this world?
So
Wasn't there something
essentially,
to be?
the Arbite did a first introductions with the military family. So he has kind of an open introduction. He's an open face-to-face introduction. So he's done all the formal shit behind the scenes. Whenever you guys are ready, he will then send a message off and say, "Good sir, on the 24th of this imperial year, we will stop by for a meeting and a chat," kind of. So that's open. You don't have a deadline for that.
Okay.
Again, you can set the NPCs out to do things. So Jenny can contact her Arbite's scribe contact, and then the Arbite's NPC can assist her with talking to Ramirez, and they can arrange the stuff in the background that needs to be done. So you guys don't have to actually have a face up with him. He can be informed about all the shit that he needs to know through your NPC. So you just need to concentrate on the mission at hand. However, there will be a point, genuinely speaking, after the or just before you attack, depending on how you guys want to do it, where you'll do rolls with Ramirez to see how things go with him. You have two ways, two starts of how you can use him. One, you don't inform the Arbites when. They know you are going to do this operation, but they don't know when it's going to go off. And you just basically call them up last minute, get down here and sort this shit out. Or there's the other option where you actually bring them in and you say, look, this is when and where we're going to be doing it. We want all of your loyal forces to be in their trucks waiting for our keyword to bring them in. So you guys can do it basically, as far as I'm aware, they're the two ways of bringing him in, or them.
Ooh. I have an idea. Doesn't bring up our Inquisition at all. We have other ident chips. And someone who has ties to this world. We have ident chips with someone who has ties to this world in its past. The rogue trader.
Good
Are you
point.
planning with the rogue trader?
The rogue. So when we approach the Arbite, it's more a case of this is a business venture from our commander, and a little bit of espionage led to the reveal of Heresy. Wanting to keep this quiet, you don't want you wouldn't want the Inquisition to know about all this. We took care of it. We just need someone to take care of the cleanup.
I don't think that one will fly.
I will just as a reminder, because you might not have thought about this, I won't be cruel. When the Arbites do their investigations, they normally get someone from the Astra Telepathica to come round and check for any warpy shit going on or for any nonsense.
Yeah, we need to be up front.
And they would
Well, a
be
little
able
bit
to
up front.
detect it if they were in that room and were like, huh, something odd was here. It could still work, don't get me wrong.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. That we were investigating, or on behalf of the rogue trader, we were investigating something that put a hamper on his profit margins. We went in for a simple investigation to see what's happening, and we discovered heresy. Heresy most foul.
That could work.
Couldn't
I won't
we say
lie.
the heresy found us instead?
The only issue with
I'm
that
all for
plan, Darius, Getty, is if you take them out and then tell the Arbites, you'll get locked up and you'll have to go through a long investigation period. Just basically a normal courtly thing. You'd need to write down all the evidence and, you know, blah 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 blah. The other issue with that is obviously you would be expected not to take or tamper with any of the evidence. So you would need to leave certain things behind. Obviously, you'd be able to take some of it, depending on if this is before or after, because you're not going with Inquisition. A rogue trader can only help you so much. He will help you to the utmost he can, but you just need to be prepared.
True.
If they're like, right, okay, you need to spend the next 2 weeks in the brig whilst we investigate and question.
That really only came to mind to protect us from the inquisitorial side of it, of us being in the reports too early, kind of thing. But
yeah, I do think being upfront with the Arbite, but maybe calling in the Wild Wardens to help in case it goes tits up, because then we got a different cover story if we can't finish everything and need to bug out.
Just out of curiosity, why do we need someone else?
The only reason why we need the Arbites is to cover everything up afterwards and clearing up the kids. I actually think we can do this solo. We don't need.
Yeah, it's mostly about mitigating or.
Yeah.
The
reason I want the Wild One is there's a backup excuse if we fail.
See, right now, Darius would want to get the Wild Wardens involved because, well, they want to leave the world. They don't care.
Yeah.
That's his perspective on it.
Yeah.
So just
because of
as
someone's certain idea.
Because Darius might take this into consideration afterwards. They had just suffered a defeat, so morale would be low at that point. Where in fact they suffered a devastating defeat, so morale would be low at that point.
Oh yeah,
just something for Darius to mull over. They might not be so defeatist after a couple of good nights sleep and, you know, decent food for a while.
I also think it did help that Darius, you know, kind of almost had his sister kill him and then was incinerated by one of his friends.
Yeah.
See, it definitely did not help things.
I have another kind of thing, but I don't think we should include the Wild Wardens yet. After this operation, I think we can include them, because showing them this evidence of, like, we found this in your world. This is a heretical cult and there's still more out there. are you actually going to leave while this is still a threat? And that should, in my eyes, at least rally them back to assisting before they have to fuck off the world.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
We
Doing
can
this now,
try.
when I'm still, or when Darius, me, is still pissed off at them, I don't see it happening.
That's fair.
Frankly, I'm not really concerned about that factor. The only thing I'm actually about is the fallout and how to manage the fallout and how to make so that bureaucracy is so fucking atrocious in this world that the news that a strike team had from the Inquisition attacked the
Don't forget there's
school
also
zone
another.
takes forever.
There's also another Inquisition strike team here. Allegedly.
Oh yeah, but here's the thing: for them to find out, it's going to take longer. If it takes longer for the bureaucracy of in the machine and gears to work through things,
Yeah,
if we recruit the Almighty Civil Clause.
We don't
Okay.
need to recruit their buddies. We just need them to take care of the cleanup
Yeah.
situation.
Since
they don't
no
need
one
to be
has
there while we're
asked
doing
this
it.
question yet, what exactly kind of evidence do we actually need?
More pictures in that temple for a start.
You are
Chaos
Inquisition. You are Inquisition. You've got enough evidence.
Evidence is subjective.
You're
Yeah.
well. So tick it off for a start. You've had an Inquisitorial agent clearly identify that they were being lied to. Lying to official personnel is a crime in the Imperium. You've had a sanctioned psyker confirm with absolute the chaotic ritual is going on. There's that's genuinely more than enough evidence.
A dodgy imperial cult, which isn't too close to the ecclesiarchy.
It's.
I mean, that just
so
happens.
It's
That's not too bad.
evidence in our world is completely different to 40k. In 40k, you guys are trusted, of the highest rank. As long as your Inquisitor can look you in the eyes and be like, no, I trust him. He's telling the truth. End of. There is no other, well, present this. No, that's it. Unless another Inquisitor or a Lord Inquisitor asks, that's when things get complicated.
So, what's our priority here? Is our priority to get inside and get more evidence, or is our priority to stop the ritual?
Go in there, stop the ritual. While we're in there, we can take photos and shit and use that as use this as more feedback for the Inquisitor and use that as a rallying point for the Wardens again.
Yeah.
Get them
Okay.
back in the fight.
So, what about this? We lightning strike the ritual, and we fuck off. Beforehand, we slip an anonymous note to the Arbites going, hey, we know there's dodgy shit going on. You'll know when you need to engage. And then they can worry about the fallout, we don't reveal ourselves, and we get to do our lightning strike.
My issue is, even if we stop the ritual, if we don't wrap them up, they have a skilled psyker there. They have rigorists that are all in it, to be all in on it. They have, it's rotten from the ground up. The only ones I don't know about are the scholars. We need to.
They're probably into it too.
We need to get in, stop this ritual, and then make sure they can't again.
Okay, how do you want to do that? There's way more attached to this that we don't even know about. There's
Simple.
no point
Give me a
in
fuckload
burning
of
this
rope.
church down when we have no idea if they don't have like 5 others.
This is stopping a ritual. This stops a part of a larger ritual that's going to set them back. Regardless.
Exactly. It's not about succeeding 100% here. It's just about succeeding.
Yeah. So if we want to do this thing with the Arbite, get the meeting set up now. We'll get that sorted and done with. Literally, we can do this tonight or the next day.
Yes.
And if I can get a look at the plans again, I can already plan an entry route.
If we can get
I have an idea for
Harvey.
disrupting the ritual, but for that I need, preference photos of the inside of the temple.
Which you have.
As much explosive as you can get.
But my main concern, if we can get in there, preferably quietly into the temple, and then, well, we know there are at least some people in there as well, but take care of them and work on stop. Me and Liliana can work on stopping the ritual, and you three will need to maybe hold off any rigorists coming up the stairs while we do so.
Or a demon spawn coming through.
That is a bit of a different issue that we're going to hope doesn't happen. If that happens, we're fucked.
Mordecai, is there a object or a position inside the temple that has to stay where it is while the ritual is being performed so the ritual can actually work?
I couldn't get close enough to tell it. They have a skill to like obscuring it, and all I could see was it was centered on the center of the temple. Rituals aren't always centered that if you get rid of that, they'll stop. It's just that's where we need to be to stop it.
But there are so then there are people involved with this ritual.
Most probably, yes.
That's why
How
we
big
rule of
is the
thumb?
inside of the temple?
We need to get
Winters-
into the temple. We
How
need to
big is
be
the
in there.
inside of the temple?
Oh fuck!
Like the main
so
area.
Mordecai can provide you with that knowledge.
Yeah, you've got pictures and like they're high quality pictures.
You have all the data
holographic
you
as well. So
for,
Okay, so
that
out of
kind
character, what Winters is trying to figure out if she can make the roof collapse
I'm not
to the ritual site.
So,
I mean, technically speaking,
when
I mean,
you
I
look at
would
the
also blow out
plans,
the floors too.
so
Yeah,
when you look at the plans for the building itself from the administrator, you've already got the blueprints. It was a building that was built a fucking long time ago. It used to be more of a noble's palace, and then it was bigger palaces were built, and over the years it went through a lot of construction. The issue you have is when you actually look at the blueprints of the original building, which they do still have here. It's not that old of a building in Hive world terms. It's not a billion years old, whatever. You can see that it was originally reinforced. Like the internal structure was all reinforced to put up with a possible artillery shell hit or so on. It seems as if when the hive was first built, there was more pretense on, when this part of the hive was built, there was more pretense on armor defense, whereas in later years that has dropped considerably. There's a lot of building that's been added to the Skolam grounds now. A lot of the gardens had extra buildings added on, which then became the where the children sleep. So where the temple is obviously not marked on any of the maps that you've got, but it's inside of that original high armored building, which is now internal. So all that reinforced structure is now adding to the structure of the new building, reinforcing it even more. Because it's incredibly difficult to bring down the central column of the building's architectural structure. So to actually bring down the roof is going to take considerable more than a normal building. It's not so much that it's ridiculous. You can do it. Your biggest issue is going to be, one, there's just been a founding going on, so all equipment is kind of locked up at the moment. It's a little bit more difficult to get hold of. No trader on World is going to be able to help you other than Mr. Black, just to save. If you contact Dodgy Dave, it's just too hot for him to handle. you're going after actual guard explosives. And they've had riots and shit going on. That kind of shit is really difficult to get hold of. The rogue traders, both of them, they may have some in their ships that they could try and get onto world. It is more difficult getting explosives
be
down.
able to get with plasma flasks and melter canisters.
It does.
Because that would be my next question.
It
as I
adds
would,
on.
because I would have used those less as an explosive and more as a thermite kind of thing.
It's
Yeah,
doable.
charge.
Don't get me wrong. If you were to chuck one demolition charge, which I believe you guys have, in with a pile of ammo, it's doable. You could do it. You're going to waste most of your ammo though, because I don't know the exact calculations for how much of a blast happens when one plasma tank. I'd need to look it up and so on. It's doable. It'll be incredibly difficult, and you'll get rid of all evidence there. Like, there's no way of figuring out where the spell came from or what was entailed or anything like that. You scarred it clear.
Yeah,
It's an
Eris,
option.
the main thing for me is we need to stop it. Then you can do what you want, but we need to stop it first.
So
This would stop it.
So to stop it, multiple ways of doing it. There are a lot of ways of doing it. Just actually stopping
This
the
would
ritual.
stop it, as anyone involved
It
would be
would.
buried under rubble.
It would.
I mean,
it would
if you
also
bury-
tell everyone in the upper spire that the spire is under attack. Like, that's
It's
the
not
other.
best.
You're attacking a reinforced building, and you want to damage it completely. It's going to be a big boom. That was going to be my. And you're not in the upper spire. You're on like the boundary of it. You're in nice territory though, so an explosion going off is going to be big news.
If we can keep it a small arms fire, we could get away with it a lot easier than
Like the normal way of dealing with it would be just to go in and douse it with fire. The building, the temple structure itself, is not chaotic. Like, that may have been lost in translation.
Oh no, I know.
The one on the Agri world was a standard template construct church basically, or building that was turned into a church, however you want. It's in the exact same dimensions, yes, but technically it's still Imperial construction. There just might be something about the geometrics that help with.
I have that back too.
Oh.
I have it.
It's more that it's exactly the same as something else that we know that they're connected to that has done a chaos ritual, more than it's a chaos design. Building itself is the thing.
Yeah.
I agree. Getting in and
something.
full arms fire and fighting our way out if we need to is the better way.
I'm gonna raise my hand here because
I have
also,
two things I want
if
to.
we're gonna go with small on fire, we should probably all get silencers. Even us, that, well, technically speaking, we're both melee, but still a good idea to get silencers as a backup.
I've got two things I would like to check. One, can I use plasma or melter ammo less as an explosive and more as a sort of thermite melting through it? Because that way I could. Because that way I could more less have a detonation and more just a collapse. And then the second thing, which I just thought of, on that Agri world where the original temple was, there was 8 of them, or more specifically 8 cities.
Yes,
are there similar locations within the hive?
That we don't know.
That's something you haven't looked into.
But we don't have time to do that.
I would note that down in a note somewhere and put VIP look into soon.
Yes.
But at the moment, you don't know.
Yes. We need to hopefully get into the temple somewhat stealthily, kill whoever's in there. Me and Liliana stop the ritual whilst you lot hold off whatever comes next. That's my plan. and we kind of
This
need
question,
easiest way to go about it because stealth, at least to start with.
this question. By multi-melter with the Bible, can I put that in a duffel bag?
So the multi-melter, if you're going to try and like conceal it and transport it, you will have to break it down. So same like you break down a
Just know
something
the
I
fucking
want.
size of a multi-melter.
you'll
I
break
hate
down.
logic, it works.
Hear me out. I want to bring it along as an anti-demon weapon. We're dealing with warfuckery. You want a multi-melter.
So
True.
here's the two options you have, and they are genuinely.
Sorry.
It's up to you. You can take the multi-melter, as it is. That's fine. So long as, and there will be a dice roll involved here. One, your vehicle does not get stopped and checked, or depending on how you decide to go about this as well. If you go with, I want it to be in a bag, because a multi-melter doesn't just fit into a bag. Unless we're going into how big's a bag territory, we're not going there. You'll need to break it down. So you'll take the stock off, and you'll take the magazine out, and just break the parts down that you can break down into the bag.
I wouldn't even call it a magazine, it's a fuel cell.
Yeah.
More like a tank. It's a fuel tank.
It's still a bit that sticks out of it, so you take that off and charge it. So yes, you can take it. It can be in a bag, portable, but it will take you a full action to rebuild it. Before.
That's fine.
Also be
scenario
probably harder to sneak in.
The scenario I had in mind, I had the duffel bag on my back since I assume we would go into shooting.
So again, you can have and depends on how you guys are going in.
Before they start doing that whole anti-ritual thing.
So the only plan I've had so far, which went from start to finish, was Waldo saying to sneak in. So I'm guessing you're doing it at night, to take out the rigorists who are in your way quietly, to get into the ritual place, to stop the ritual, grab the evidence, and to as quietly as possible get out. That's the only plan I've heard from start to finish.
Yeah.
So we try and mark down what we want to do. Yes, you can technically explode the room. So you can take a bag of ammo with you, or explosives if they're in the gun cutter, for example. That's all.
While I'm usually all for blowing shit up, I think we should avoid blowing this up for now.
See, the problem I have with Mordecai's plan is it's all too vague. Just sneak in. Yeah, how? How are we going to get in? How are we going to take care of the rigors quietly? Because they're not going to go easy.
I have... Hang on. Okay. We use the exact same entryway as Mordecai and Ezio used to sneak in. The side staircase.
Yes.
Okay? We can climb a fence. We climb the fence in the middle of the night where there's less people around. Climb the fence, get to the staircase. That immediately gets us up one floor. After that, I have 3 suppressed weapons. I can hand out to... I keep one for myself. There's one there for Ezio, and there's one there for Winters, while Mordecai and Liliana have their melee weapons because they're more melee focused. Okay? We use those to take out those in our path. Keep it quiet. I actually have a kosh if we want to go the non-lethal route. We get up to the ritual area. We do know that the kids go there at night before bed. We have to be careful. No flame or pistol, Mordecai.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to say.
I'll be 3 a.m. in the morning.
Hang on. Let me finish this up. Okay.
Yeah.
We get in there. We have to take a good look at the ritual. We have to put down anyone who is tending to the ritual. We have to put down anyone who is a outright threat. Put down any rigorists, anyone like that. Capture anyone who is easily put down without killing, put a stop to the ritual, exfiltrate.
Yes.
Exfiltrate either loud or exfiltrate stealth if we still maintain cover. If we have to exfiltrate loud, Ezio, you have a perfectly good Armageddon pattern. Autogun, Winters, you have a perfectly good fucking plasma blaster. I have a wide array of weapons.
Torch in the temple.
And I have Flamer to
Personally?
help cover any psychic powers as well that we may end up needing. I also have a shock maul. I can give it to anyone that either you, Winters, or Ezio. It might help with holding the stairs if things get too loud. It
Oh shit.
will put people down.
I mean, I have a hypo pistol. I have like the Galvian Needler. I have.
You have
I
everything.
can
So-
finally use the garrote.
So I'm
Yeah.
getting the plan. I'm liking so far. So you've got basically a nighttime sneak attack. How much are you telling the Arbites? Like, what are the Arbites being
probably
brought
just
in on?
Anonymous tip. Shit's going down. You'll know when it happens.
Problem
We
with
don't
that
need
is-
to.
The
We don't
issue...
need to tell them our plan because that's just going to draw
No,
more
so-
attention to
So
us.
the
I
issue with
vote
that is,
for-
Winters, is you're then going to put them on high alert and they're going to investigate you.
Yeah.
They're going to look for
So
who the
I vote
fuck is
for-
telling this, saying that there's
We-
something to go down and secretive. They'll investigate that. You can do it by all means, just
I-
do it smartly.
I say we tell them the time and roughly what's happening. So a cult we're putting down, and then give them a time, maybe 30 minutes after our infill time to show up at.
Yes.
So
That's a bad idea because. So we know of a singular good Arbites.
There's only one
There is
Arbite
only
left on the
only
world.
one
Arbite
singular Arbite on world.
we killed the
Yeah.
others.
So
Okay.
just as a highlight,
The rest,
How
the rest
much
is
do
all
we
made up
trust them?
of-
so just
If
as
we,
a recap,
if we talk
for
to
Winters.
anyone about this, anyone, what are the odds that they're in on it? Especially
So
if they're an authority.
Winters, there were originally 3 Arbites on this world. The original Arbite, Arbites who
Whose
were on the
armor I
world were
wear.
basically purged when some of the nobility was purged. So these 3 Arbites were the only ones who were not connected to anything, weren't connected to any nobles, so they were left to carry on. And they were carrying on quite well. But rather than the world getting a fresh recruit of Arbites, the Lord Commander turned up because of the Inquisition to keep an eye on the world. He didn't trust the Arbites at that time, so he brought in his own secret police. They're the ones who basically do the Arbites' jobs instead of them. But you guys have got no contacts for them so far. The group's met them once, and it was very, discussion and then a deal and over, and they kept to their word. After investigating, the only Arbite left, who is actually still officially an Arbite, is a loyal, hardworking investigator. That's his role. He was and has always been an investigator as his stamp within the Arbites, and his loyal scribe, who also is who you guys have a contact with. Their records are spotless. They were looked into, and they are clean.
I'm not worried about that guy or his personal assistants or whatever. I'm worried about his muscle. Because if we give him a tip and he tells his muscle to prepare, the muscle might go, oh, I know a guy that might like to hear this, and boom, they know of our plan.
That's why.
That's the problem I see. And 30
That's why
minutes
I
is
don't-
not enough.
That's why I don't give them the same time. At least
30 minutes is not enough.
give it
I
an
say we
hour,
don't give
then.
them a plan at all.
We need to, otherwise they're going to be on our backs. We need to loop
Right.
him in.
I have a question. Is there any chance for us to get into contact with the
Secret
with
place.
Clint Eastwood, old man? This is the thing. I know that character who he is as a previous character, not this character. We saw him once. We can't get into contact
So
with our
technically,
Inquisitor.
you can. So essentially, you get in contact with the rogue trader from the Emperor's Profiteer. His astropath then connects to the old man. The old man then contacts the rogue trader and actually gets, a straight up conversation with him.
Because here's the thing. We know he's helping the Lord Inquisitor, that is the good one, backed by the Inquisition, apparently. So technically speaking, he could get us into contact with the secret police. And technically speaking, since the secret police is what is doing the Abaides work, in theory, they might be better to help us than the single lone Abaide.
So
If we tell anyone our plan that is involved in this mess,
Hang on.
the plan falls to bits.
Don't tell anyone the actual plan. The idea is to get them to clean up, not take part. They don't need to know the plan. All they have to do is clean up.
You can literally just give them a call word. Just be like, on the 24th of the Imperial year, when we call Cockmuncher, your team moves out and secures the area and takes over. No questions asked. The only issue is, to do that kind of shit, you do need to be like, yes, we are Inquisition. Shut your fucking mouths.
Which is why I don't think this is a good idea.
You can get in contact with the old man. You can get in contact with the secret police that way, because they are under direct command of the Lord Commander of the Ultima Segmentum. So you can get in contact with them that way. You just don't have a direct comms call. But you also don't know how long that will take. It's up to you. Like, if you ring up the rogue trader and say, look, this is crucial, we need the old man to get in contact with us now. Obviously, it'll be quicker. Depends on how you word it.
I forgot the name of the old man. For some reason, I just remember Yanka.
Ulftane. No, it's Ulftane. His original character.
Yeah. We're with him for such a little time. Well, I wasn't with him for so long, so I just remember old man.
So that is an option, yes.
Oh, I'm trying to think now how to put all this shit together.
Biggest problem we have is with our cleanup. That's where the difficulty lays.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also the thing, I don't want to use explosives or anything too grandiose. Taking out
I would at least start a fire in the temple, just so they can't use the room immediately again.
Okay, here's the problem though. The temple is connected to this golem, and there's a fucking ton of kids there.
At night, when they're sleeping in separate buildings.
And it's a fire. They have fire alarms. They can run away.
I would point out, in the guard, it's perfectly fine to burn shit. You're the guard, you don't investigate. You're the Inquisition. You don't burn stuff first. Investigate first and then
burn after the investigation.
Then technically the children should not be anywhere near the building.
Exactly.
Okay.
After we've done our shit, we open a can of Frometium, we put a match to it, and we bugger off.
If you put a match to it and you've opened a can of Promethium, you're already fucked. So, the only part of the plan we really need to work out is your cleanup. Are you contacting the Arbeites, or are you going to go the other route to the secret police? What are you going to tell them? And the important part really comes down to, are you going to tell them you're Inquisition? Because if you'd ring the Arbeites up and go, we are members of the Inquisition, we will give you our authorization Rosarises, but you will come here and do as we say, that they can't say anything about it. It has to go into the official documents. But then that just depends on how much you can charm the Arbites to slow those documents down. It could take 6 months for official documents to get updated by from the Arbites here to the home world of Macragge, because yes, that's the home world, to then get updated to the wider Imperium. This can all be slowed down or speeded up depending on how intimidated or liked you are by the person doing the paperwork. Eddie, I can't hear you if you're talking. Oh, okay, never mind. But
no, I've changed the sensitivity of my mic and it keeps lighting up every so often now.
Personally, I think we should at least try to contact the secret police through the old.
Have you got a zipline, Eris?
I can make one.
Do it.
Build a harpoon turret onto your gun cutter. Fire a zip line down from the gun cutter. Slide in.
That's a bit ambitious, but a similar idea.
I mean, if we bring in the gun cutter, why not go Apocalypse Now style and just blast it to pieces?
Because we don't want to cause mass panic in the fucking hive.
I mean, we're bringing already gun cutters down there, which is very unusual. I think.
You are in the spot. You can see daylight above you. It's the best way I can describe it. You can see daylight. So there are ships coming around, because if you remember at the sex party, the rogue trader had his sleek transport shuttle drop him off outside. So there is access to craft here. So shuttles are flying around every now and then. It's just not as common here. So a gun cutter flying over, stopping for a few moments, and then disappearing off wouldn't be suspicious.
Yeah, it's blasting a place though would very be.
Shooting at a building would be very.
Yes. I feel stealth in, stealth out is our best plan, really, and only go loud if we need to. I feel like even as you know, as uncommon, well, as common yet uncommon it is for for a shuttle to just fly over the top. It just think of it as like a car. If a car pulled up to on the side, sat there for a few seconds, and then carried on while you were walking, you'd instinctively look at it. Like, I feel like it would just still draw at least a sentry's eyes to us already. Which is...
No, that's fine. You can go with the getting dropped off by your truck.
Yeah. I do think that's
we're still in the car when all those discussions.
No, you're back at base. No, you're back at base now.
At base, yeah.
So
you're in our safe space.
Yeah, you're in your penthouse. I should probably put it on the penthouse bit. Although actually most of your tokens are there. So you're gathered around a table. There are loads of data slates with schematics and shit on it, and you've like got a list of things that Dodgy Dave has always been able to get you, and things he's just not able to get you, and you're like, okay.
Right. So one thing I need to look at, one thing I want to ask about is getting on the fucking comms and getting a hold of Ninja, because he never actually gave us any of the details before he set off.
We don't even know if he got there.
Yeah, we don't even know if he got there.
Or someone was watching him all the way and just killed him when he got there. With how bad the stealth rolls were.
So can I get in contact with him and see if he'll show up for a discussion, or if he wants to talk one-on-one, I'll do that. I just need to talk to him.
So you try to contact him. There is no response. The call goes through, but there is no response.
Right.
And then after a couple of moments, you would probably get the open close sound of a mic. So when it goes and you just start hearing that sound. Roll me intelligence, please. I'll give you a +20.
He is guard, so
Okay, why not?
Hey, I was kind. I gave him a +20. Nuffle just hates him.
Yeah. So
did you just roll the same again?
no, I rolled 5 less, but I still got the same amount of degrees.
Oh yeah.
You're right. I don't understand. Click clack.
Paddywhack.
1 for yes, 2 no. 1 for no, 2 for yes. Did you get intelligence on the Skolum?
Subtle.
So he was going like so he was basically doing Morse code to you.
Yes.
A massive piece of static would come through on your end of the mic, as if he's taken his receiver and placed it next to his output. So there's like a come through the mic as it starts up again. I'll let you have another roll with a +20. And now I'll be +15.
Say again?
You can roll intelligence again with a +15.
+15. Okay, yeah.
Do we hear this?
Technically, it's if you go on to your if you see Darius looks puzzled and you flip your microbead onto his band, you can then start hearing.
I'm just waiting for him to ask me.
Yeah.
Because he has a tech priest sitting at the same fucking table.
Alright. Open your fucking comms and listen in then.
Yeah, +20 for anyone who opens their comms and
Jesus. Me dum dum.
Okay. Do you know that I'm gonna say that's gonna be a really sad natural 100 because I can't think of anything how you can really fuck this up unless so
Your microbead explodes.
no, so it's more like Ezio, like everyone's switched their microbeads to the channel, it's come through and Ezio like jumps up, grabs his weapons and is it the stress code? He's under attack. Whereas it actually says like Winters and Liliana
I didn't quite get my roll through.
and Mordecai. So it's it takes a bit because it's fucking Morse code. But it's basically saying like this: been in position some days now, recorded much footage, seen many heretical acts. Don't you all look sweet in your robes? Old Diddums, wasn't that sweet what the children said? Oh shit, the guards are so after you guys leave, shit, the guards are patrolling more. Something seems up. Not sure what's going on. Need to go hide. No, had to go hide. Because again, it's taken you a few hours to get to your base and an hour or so or two of planning. So you're looking at about, I think you got there for like, it was after lunchtime that you got there. By the time you get back, let's say it's like now 9 o'clock now. Things settle down later on. things gone quiet now, we'll inform you of details, important details when they come up.
I'm just going to say out loud, "Oh, that's sweet. He noticed. How cute we were."
Ask him, has he been to the temple? This is not the time for cute comments, Leona.
I'm just going to look at Jen and pout.
Girl, you know you fine.
So it takes some time for his answers to come through, where you can joke and poke fun at each other. He basically says no air ducts in temple, haven't entered, can only see one entrance.
Can you set up an entryway for us for an attack? Stealthily.
So he would put back can assist on entry. So it can assist for entry by reducing guard numbers, will be noticeable when they check the guards. And was it you wanted another entry into the temple?
So, like Eris said in the chat there, Winters is going to need assistance climbing over a fence because big. No, not athletic. So
Neither am I.
Just see how it is. She's built like a brick.
assisting with that, and also because I'm pretty damn sure none of us actually have a multi-key, and he probably does. So if he could get like a door unlocked, rather than waiting for us to try and pick it or anything.
Yeah.
So we need a way to get to the outside staircase. One of the doors at the top of the stairs or a window to be open for us to get in, and that's our entry plan.
Okay, so
or
he
if he was to clear the lobby, and we can walk into the lobby and just start shooting shit after that.
He comms. he Morse codes back. Can assist with lightning guards. Might be able to assist in opening the door if the key is on the guards that he takes. Too many guards in lobby at night time for me to take out quietly.
Right, so lobby's not the entryway.
Definitely go around. There was a gate to get through rather than just climbing over a fence as well. So we could probably get some bolt cutters.
Can you bring back the map just so we can take a look at it? Even if you just cleared the NPCs off it?
No, I have a copy. Oh, yes.
Well,
that's not meant to be there.
I mean, that's perfect.
I mean, it gives a good idea.
That actually is perfect. So, there's a kit.
That's not there. Actually there. So just yeah, it's not actually there. Now, yeah, there's a fence that go. Yeah, the temple's not there on the plans.
Yeah.
The gate is there. It's bigger. But obviously, it's not just something you can hop over. You can climb it. It's not so large that it's impossible, but it will actually take an athletics check to get over, or acrobatics to get over. You can pick the lock because there is an actual gate there with a lock and key kind of style.
Okay, so it's a lock and key, not a chain round it and key.
No, it's
either way, yeah.
It's because it used to be a noble's estate basically. So the gates haven't really changed in all that time, so they're quite fine looking.
Oh, I
just
know that's
really
what you
rusty.
mean. Yeah, I know that's what you mean. Yeah, so we can pick that.